Well, today I've got a 2016 Chevy Colorado 2.8 liter Duramax diesel exhaust fluid system. See owner's manual. The customer is upset because he's had another shop diagnose it and they told him that it needs a diesel particulate filter. The reason the customer's upset is because I just replaced the diesel particulate filter about 13,000 miles ago for a P2002 code. So, let's see if that other shop is correct in their diagnosis. Let's check the codes and see what we've got. I already kind of have my doubts because the message on the dash says service exhaust fluid, and that's not related to the diesel particulate filter. Let's see what we got, details. And we've already got a reductant low pressure code, P20E8. Looks like that's going to be the one that I'm going to worry about right now because these other codes are not set as current. And you wouldn't really, why would we look at NOx sensors if the reductant pressure is low, right? Because the NOx sensors are primarily going to be monitoring what our reductant system is going to be doing. So let's look into our reductant low pressure. Okay, here's the diagnostic document. What was it? Conditions for setting the DTC, less than predefined value. Okay, so they want us to check reductant fluid level. That's kind of obvious. Hey dummy, make sure there's some fluid in the tank, and then can command the reductant system leak test and check how much pressure we are building. So let's go do that. Oh, touchscreen strikes again. Touchscreen strikes again. Oh, and again. Reductant system data. Got it. Yay. Okay. Tank level. Okay. Gee, that's useful. Tank level sensor 1.8 volts. Well, might be able to go into some information and figure out what does 1.8 volts mean. Let's just go command that reductant system leak test and see what it does. Controls. Oh my god, touchscreen. I'm giving up on the touchscreen. Reductant system leak test. Commanded on. It doesn't want the engine running. Okay. Shut her down. And now we're... Oh, it wants to keep on always. Engine is now shut down. Reductant system leak test is commanded on, and we've got, I saw 60, I saw about 59 psi, but it's settling out at 56, 57. That's kind of strange. I wouldn't be surprised if he ran it out of exhaust fluid and now it has some fluid in the tank. I don't know. I would probably visually inspect the tank also, just to make sure there's no signs of leaks. Visually inspect the injector, make sure there's no signs of leaks. But we are building a reductant pressure, so this might be a weird one. Actually, you know what? It says right there, we want to see 65 to 80 psi, so we are actually lower than we should be, and that would be probably why we are setting a reductant system pressure low code, right? What do they want us to do about it? They want us to check for anything obvious, such as, leaks like that. Okay, let's go check. Already, by the way, that other shop's diagnosis has been proven wrong because they obviously missed something like that, and we can't really trust what they're saying about the diesel particulate filter being faulty if we have a related system, well, semi-related system having a fault. Yeah, I don't buy it. Okay, check it out. There's the exhaust fluid tank up above the spare tire behind the rear axle. We've got hoses right there that runs along the frame. Up along the frame. I think that we come up over the engine and then we come over to this side where the exhaust fluid injector is, okay? So I don't know if you noticed, but there was no signs of exhaust fluid leaks anywhere. There's no crystallization here. There's nothing, you know, nothing on the frame. There's water here, but I determined that that's from the air conditioning. So nothing to worry about there. I think that we probably have a faulty exhaust fluid pump back here. All this has to come down to do that. But they do want us to take the exhaust fluid injector out of the exhaust and just make sure that that's not dripping. So I may do that before I recommend a new pump. Here we are after removing spare tire. Cable's just hanging there. I'm about to pull this shield off. It's been a dusty mess. Look at that. So there's the pump right there. Obviously it comes out the bottom, award-winning design. Gonna make a big mess, so stand by. Design. Ready? Here's the mess. Here we go. Yummy. Who thought this up? Love that design. Installation is kind of a pain. It's kind of a three-handed operation, so you need to have these up on the other side of that seal, obviously. These are your little heaters. Get that one, there we go. So you kind of have to like feed this up into the hole like that, carefully, and then you got to make sure your seal is in position also, and the pump's in the right orientation. Obviously we need to have it like that. So it looks like my seal dropped into position. And of course the one thing I can't reach right now is the lock ring down on the ground. So let me just do this a second time. But now I don't have enough hands to do it, so stand by. Not all the way seated. You can see that it's not all the way into that groove, so we need to go one more click. Do that. position here. Okay, so this right here is what I'm talking about. That is not fully over the ramp and down in the hole, so this would actually come loose and come back out. So I applied so much force on this thing, it felt like I was gonna break it, so I might take that back off and try to lube up that seal and then reattempt. Just going to use a little bit of dielectric grease. Just a little bit, that's what I need. Move up that seal. That's all you need. There's that first pop again. There we go. That's what we wanted. Now we know it is fully seated. See what I mean? Now we're over the hump and the slot is fully over it, touching the tabs. So now we know it's fully inserted and it's not going to come back off. Last one went right. This needs to go here. That goes there. That marker goes there. Position. Snap that. Stick that push in. then from there you just reinstall the spare tire and that's it. Don't forget the spare tire heat shield also. So we're all reassembled. I just need to put this back in position so I can suck the spare tire back up and then put exhaust fluid back in, and we're gonna do the reductant fluid pressure test, or the leak test. Okay, so we're reassembled. We're gonna do the reductant system leak test to verify we are now running the proper specified pressure, and then we also need to deal with the exhaust system message after that. So give me a second here. Reductant system. This touchscreen's striking again. Not really a fan of the touchscreen anymore. Let's go back 1990 style. There we go. The old point and click. Point and click, hard to mess it up. Touchscreen doesn't work out too well. See, I almost tried it there. Reductant system leak test is now commanded on. Previously, I think we were seeing 55 or 60 psi. No, we were seeing closer to 50 or 55. And our specification was 60 to 80. I'm not seeing it build any pressure yet, but that may be because we have too much air in the lines, or it has to do a purge first before it builds pressure. Or maybe it's just, I did something wrong. Maybe I screwed up. I don't think that's the case, but maybe it's a faulty pump. Well, if you take a look there, it says desired reductant pump speed, actual pump speed, desired pump pressure is 0. So maybe that's something that it's intentionally doing. Reductant injector command, so it's on off, so it may just be doing a purge cycle before it builds pressure. Or it's just running 3000 RPM for no reason at all. I don't know. So we are seeing what we wanted to see. We're seeing the specified 60 to 80 psi. Previously, we were not even seeing close to the specification. So this confirms that we've at least fixed this portion of the problem. And now what I need to do is fix that portion of the problem. So what are we going to do about that? Let's go back to the P20E8 diagnostic document and see what it says. It says perform the tamper service bay test to clear that message. Conditions for running, engine coolant. You know, here's all the conditions we need to meet before we can even run this test. So I'm going to run the tamper service bay test, and that should take care of the service message. If it doesn't not, then we may have an additional problem. Nice. Awesome. Just love this equipment. Don't know what's up with that. You know what? I'm probably going to end up having to do a battery disconnect because this is probably a logic lock condition. Basically, things aren't making sense. There's nothing I can do at this point. I can't initiate the self-test because of the equipment. Okay, so this is after the battery disconnect. We're gonna see what happens. See if this gets us any further along. Nope. See, I don't know what to say here because I can't initiate the self-test. Oh, actually it says engine coolant tip. So that is a little further than we got last time. Maybe that was our problem last time and it just didn't say so. Let me warm up the engine. Okay, so I decided to take a quick drive up the road to get up to temperature. I made it about 500 feet and the message went away. So sometimes all it takes is to take it for a drive. You're gonna meet those conditions for running a self-test. The self-test will run, pass, and the message will go away. So I no longer need to do the tamper test to clear the message. The vehicle is now fixed. Let's go talk about the pump real quick in our summary, and then we're done. So to summarize, we had a P20E8 code. The customer brought it back in. He was a little bit upset. He thought that the previous repair was going to be warranted. Turns out that was not true. The testing for P20E8 was pretty simple. It just said check for any leaks, check for a leaky exhaust fluid injector. You'll notice I did not even check the injector. I felt I didn't need to, and also I found a outdated old bulletin. It says that if you have any other part number than this, replace the pump. So we've got the 4618. That's the exact same number that we have here, and this is from 2016. It says just replace it. So that's what we did. That did end up taking care of the problem. You'll also notice that I did not do any electrical testing, and the reason for that is because the engine control module sets the code, but that data was communicated from the reductant control module, and the reductant control module is responsible for monitoring the pump and the pressure sensor, and it's all kind of self-diagnosing. So there's not really any external testing I can do, and the pump itself is a 12-volt 3-phase motor, so there's not a whole lot of circuit testing I can do other than, I can test from here and here, and that's about it. So ended up just replacing the pump, and that took care of it. So I don't think I have anything else to say. Actually, I did have one more thing. So if you do this repair and you end up finding this little extra piece and you're like, crap, where'd that come from? It actually came from in there. So your new pump should have that in it. If not, that's where it came from, just so you know. And then here is your heaters. This is your heater for when the exhaust fluid's in cold conditions. Here's your fluid level sensor. That's nothing but like a magnet. It's a magnet on a float, and it interacts with the sensor in here. It's actually on the diagram right there. There's your fluid level sensor. So the float floats along next to these little micro switches and causes that change of state so that we can sense the fluid level. Okay, now that's all I've got. Okay, thanks for watching.